Hey guys, and welcome to another video about No Man's Sky. Uh, I probably should have made this video first instead of making the other video. So, let me start out by saying I have two top favorite games, I guess you would say. If you follow me at all, or you see my video history on my channel, you will see that I played DayZ a lot, and I played No Man's Sky a lot, and then I do a lot of other random shit. And if you followed me, you've heard me talk about DayZ and No Man's Sky, and how, for me, they're kind of two sides of the same coin. That coin is me, and I can't explain what it is that each game touches inside of me that, like, causes some kind of manic addiction to them, but they both cause that in me in different ways, and I get obsessive and manic about things, and so the things I like to do, or the things that I do, change over time, or not over time, but back and forth all the time. And my wife will tell you that she's got it down to a clock. I usually obsess about a game and spend all my time playing it for a certain amount of time. Then I get depressed, or I do nothing for a week or two, or I just don't know what to play, and then I'll do other things, but eventually I will always come back to DayZ and No Man's Sky. If you're not familiar with DayZ, it's basically a polar opposite of No Man's Sky, which is probably why this all works together, because everything in life, in nature, is polar opposites existing together. You can't have one without the other. The most extreme joy is only felt by experiencing the most extreme misery or pain. And that's how it works. It's a balance. It's a pendulum that swings back and forth. And it's present in life, in nature, and in everything, including video games. So the thing that it strikes in me is equal opposite balances. But today, 3 minutes into this, after I'm blah blah blahing, we're talking about No Man's Sky. And I want to talk about how much I love No Man's Sky, and why I love No Man's Sky, and why it is, for me currently, because games change and something could come out that's just blows my mind in a whole new way. But as of right now, 2021, No Man's Sky is, I think, the pinnacle, top all around. It's not the most specific best game. There are better shooters, there's better race car games, obviously. I'm saying as a game, overall, all around, what it is, what it does, what it brings, what it's become, what it's becoming, it is the penultimate game. It started with Minecraft. Minecraft introduced the idea of this procedural generation of worlds, and this sort of infinite idea of worlds. And No Man's Sky was the natural progression of that, which took that basic idea and said, oh, I know how to use that. And they applied it to almost every aspect of a universe and created, well, literally an entire universe. They created an entire universe. And in fact, to this day, I have, I hope I live long enough to have my consciousness implanted into a virtual world. And if that is the case, I would choose No Man's Sky to be my virtual world for the rest of eternity. I would love to just be in that universe, infinite universe, forever. Anyway, so it's basically, it's an open, infinite world, first of all, which is already, mind-blowing. It's immediately overwhelming and mind-blowing, as it should be, because that's the universe. In fact, that's part of why I love this game, is because in so many ways it's philosophical, and it's wrapped up in this package that anybody can get into it for their own reasons, and that's what's great about it, because it's literally meant to be a universe for that reason. But at its core, there are deep philosophical implications that take place on every level, and I'm not going to go into those, but that's a huge part of why I love the game. It's just so overwhelming, but yet at the same time, when it comes down to it, like, what you make of it is ultimately your choice. What you make of it, like, it is what it is to you. And like, there's also a million other people playing it, and it is what it is to them, just like the real universe that we live in. And it just really encapsulates like the real universe simulated on a smaller scale. So just as a game overall, it's just the best game. Now, as a sci-fi nerd, as an 80s, 90s kid, as somebody who grew up, you know, before the internet with dreams of sci-fi and space, as someone who, you know, saw The Matrix for the first time when it came out and was like, oh yeah, we're going there at some point. You know, this game is just, it's a dream. Like, I remember the day I heard it announced, like 4 or 5 years before it even came out. It was announced, and like, I'd been following it and waiting for it and waiting for it. And of course, if you are familiar, it had a famously, you know, abysmal launch. I wouldn't call it as bad as Cyberpunk. Like, Cyberpunk set a whole new bar for bad launches. But No Man's Sky had a very similar, like, there was a huge hype, there was a long build-up, and there was a lot of promises that were implied, and there was a lot of hype built up around the promises that were implied, and they didn't deliver on that immediately. And for me, I saw that coming because I am a game design person, and as someone who's like into that, I saw it as like, oh yeah, I get it. You're gonna start out with like, this is what I can give you, but these are the things that I'm gonna do eventually if you stick with me. And if you stuck with it this long, you see what it's become. And if you just now are getting into it, like, trust me, what you have in your hands right now is nothing compared to the sketchbook that we had on day one. So like, that's another thing about the game, is it's been designed to evolve and update as it goes, so they can add all the features they want, so they can fully develop the universe into what it wants to be. And the story is designed in a way that it fits that narrative. It like, the world, the universe, I shouldn't say world, the universe is designed to be exactly what it is. It's self-aware, it's able to change and adapt, and it fits seamlessly into the narrative. And that's one of the greatest game design tricks you could ever pull, is making an infinite game that appeals to different types of gamers on different levels for different reasons. It offers so much and keeps adding more and more. And like, it's the first time you could like literally be on the ground, destroy everything around you want, build whatever, you know, essentially build whatever you want, hop in a spaceship, seamlessly hop in your spaceship, take off up into space, and pick another planet and go to it seamlessly. You could choose to just take your long ass time just flying there. You can, you know, fast travel different ways. They're like, the opportunities are there for all the different options. Like, they made sure that, like, yeah, if you want to just like be realistic and float through space, you look at that planet, it tells you at your speed right now, it's going to take you 3 days to get there. You could do that, or you can hop on a space station, you can pulse, you know, you can go faster. Like, they made it so that everybody can play the way they want. My favorite thing that's in the game that people hate, and I always will get shit for this because it's one of the dividing factors, is the PvP element. It's actually PvE, and the E is for everyone, everything, environment. Like, PvE means like the player versus everything, and that means that like your environment can kill you, everything can kill, like you're surviving, and that's what it is. And like, by default, that's always set to be on, and a lot of people don't realize that, and it's a big dividing factor, because if you're a really peaceful player and you just want to like hop planets and discover stuff and build stuff, like you can do that all day long, no problem. But you should definitely like turn your PvP off or your PvE off so that like nobody else can mess with you. And again, that's what I love, is like the options are always there. Like everybody is kind of represented in a way that like you can play your way. Like it's sort of like, okay, on Grand Theft Auto Online, you can play in like, you know, bystander mode or whatever it is, like peaceful, like, hey, I don't want to get shot up by everybody every 5 seconds. And like in Grand Theft Auto, it makes sense that like people would hate that, because like the idea of the game is that it's like a ruthless, you know, crime city. So like like being able to just be peaceful, like you could see how that would be, you know, looked down upon. But at the same time, it's really ruthless. And if you just want to play Grand Theft Auto and drive around and do stuff, then like, you know, it makes sense to be able to be not bothered. And the same exists in No Man's Sky. It's just a different game. So the people who are mostly playing this game are not even PvP minded or thinking along those lines, nor do they mostly even want it. Or I think a lot of them do, they just don't realize it because they associate it with such toxic games. But that's another video. But basically, like, the game offers something for everyone, and you always have the options, and like it's literally infinite, which like that's, I mean, that's literally ridiculous. It's you could never explore all of it. Everybody in the world together could never explore all of it. So it's like, it's almost too big. But that's almost a good thing, because again, it like gives you the opportunity to like explore so many things and then like move on to something else. And I like games that allow you to do things that are not like, you know, that are off the beaten path, basically, like kind of wander off on your own direction, or explore elements of the game that like aren't really meant to be explored per se. Like to harken back to DayZ, my favorite thing about DayZ is actually the hunting and camping, like the actual like Boy Scout side of surviving in that game. It's the most realistic depiction of that in any game I've ever played in my life. So like when I play DayZ, like I don't care about PvP, like I don't care about anything else. Like I really just want to play the game to survive. And so I almost am like I almost sound hypocritical or contradictory in this sense, because like in DayZ, I want to be left alone so I can like hunt animals, survive in the woods, you know, forage, and like I like to play it as an actual apocalypse survival game and not PvP. Now if I encounter somebody, like I want it to go how it goes, but I don't want it to be just like a bunch of toxic people playing for PvP reasons. And same in No Man's Sky, I want PvP, but I don't want specifically focused like toxic people just playing for PvP. And No Man's Sky makes it like that's not even a worry. So, you know, you don't have to worry about that. But like you do have to worry about, like, you know, it can happen. So, or you could be that person, you know. I'm always in the middle. If you've watched any of my other content, I like to use the term space cowboy, and like it fits No Man's Sky and my like the way I play perfectly, because I like to think of myself in the game as like that guy who would be in the cantina sitting by himself in the back of the bar having a drink, you know, puffing on a strange electronic device with a weird purple mist in a long, you know, trench coat, mysterious looking, and you don't know if I look like I could help you, I look like I could hurt you, you don't know. But there I am, and you know, that's how it is. I like to play it that way, like that old, like, mysterious cowboy, but in space, you know. And that's how I play. Is I want to help. I'm actually a really good dude. I want to like play together. If I'm at the anomaly and I start a mission, I'll wait and I hope somebody joins, and like I'll wait around long enough that like eventually I'll either start it myself or the next person that joins, I start it immediately. But like I want to play together. I want to do things, you know. But like I have my idea of how that goes, and like I guess I'm old, so I'm getting to be like a stickler for like rules and shit, or not rules, but like honor. I guess I've always been a stickler for honor and truth, but like, you know, the game is so open and big, and people play it in so many ways, but like, that's also part of like what makes it so great is that, you know, again, it represents reality in the sense that like there's all different types. And like I'll complain about one type of thing and like I don't fully explain myself, and some people will think it's like a contradiction because like in my previous video I talked about how the people in the Nexus that just sit and wait for free shit annoy me, or the ones that just sit there and beg. And then I also was like, but if I have to do something with my kids, I set myself down in there, you know, to kill two birds. And that sounds like a contradiction, but at the same time, I also said that's not the kind of person I'm talking about. And there's no way that like 100% of these people are like me. And I'm not talking about people like me who are doing multiple things. Like, if you're sitting in the Nexus so that you can go like chill with your homies and smoke weed and like come back every like 30 minutes, like, you know, that's not the same as me, you know, using it when I need to, but then, you know, using it the proper way otherwise. Doesn't matter. The point is that like I contradict myself a little bit sometimes, but like at the same time, like, I love this game. I love the community. I love the way that, like I said, it represents the whole spectrum. And that's part of it. Like, you have equal opposites. And so the people who are the equal opposite of me, obviously, I'm going to be like, oh, those people suck. I'm not telling them that they're playing the game wrong. Like, that's the difference. To me, that's where you become like, hey, you're being a hypocrite or whatever. Is like, I'm never saying like, hey, you're playing the game wrong. That's not how it's meant to be played. I'm saying that the way you're playing sucks, and that there's better ways to play, but like you can keep playing that way. It's when people say things like, you know, oh, you're playing the game wrong. That's not how it's meant to be played. Oh, the biggest example I have is bring up the subject of PvP in a No Man's Sky community, and just see what happens. That's all I can say. And you'll see my point proven. It's that, you know, you can't tell other people that they're playing wrong. You can only suggest that you don't like the way they play. You know, like if you're playing within the rules of the game, the only people who are playing wrong are the people who are literally cheating. If, you know, you are literally just duping, like, I don't know, but like the game's designed so that anybody, like, if you do, like, in DayZ, I'm sorry, I had to stop and catch my breath for a second. In DayZ, there's a huge problem with duping, but there's also a limited loot economy that's based on the way the items spawn and everything, and dupers are actually ruining that for anybody who wants to play on the, like, you know, base vanilla game. It ruins the game. In DayZ, it's a big deal. In No Man's Sky, it's not a big deal because it doesn't ruin anything for anybody else. Like, it just helps you, like, that person, like, get stuff faster, basically. And, like, I've said it before, like, if you cheat your way through the game, it is fun. Like, it's fun to have cool shit faster, but eventually it gets empty because, like, you have nothing left to do, and you've destroyed the part of the game flow that was, you know, it's there for a reason, to build up to things so that they feel like they're worth getting when you get them. You earned it. If you just dupe everything, you know, you're not earning anything, and it doesn't, like, it's not special. So, like, but again, in No Man's Sky, that doesn't ruin anything for anybody else. So it's not that it's like ruining the game, but it is cheating. And, you know, if you're doing it overwhelmingly, like that's your gameplay style, then you probably are playing it wrong. But at the same time, like, I guess maybe not, because well, no, again, sticking to my word, if you're exploiting something and that's your game style, then you're probably cheating and you are playing it wrong. But if you're playing everything in the game within the context of how the game was designed to be played, then there is no right or wrong. There's just like your way of playing it and other people's ways of playing it. And just like some people cheat and steal and like hustle to like make lots of money, and other people work really hard and don't make lots of money, like that's how it is. Not everything's fair. Some, some people can go make an OnlyFans and be set for life after a week, and some people have to work their entire lives and still never be set. So that's how it is in life and in video games. And that's why I love No Man's Sky, because again, it's like a really good digital representation of humanity and reality as it is, and at the same time it's like philosophical and making you like think about things on a deeper level if you choose to. But otherwise you could just run around and look for silly animals and name them, wiener balls, and that's like, that could be your whole thing. Like that's why I love it. It's a whole spectrum, and everybody's welcome. And I just wanted to like make a video about like my love of No Man's Sky, because I really love this game. It is, to me, the like overall best game ever made for so many reasons, and one of them is that it is what it is, a digital universe that encompasses everybody. And even if I don't like somebody's style, that's fine. Somebody else doesn't like my style, and it's equal opposites. I'm not like above it. I don't care. That's the thing, is like I play my way, and I'm not saying I'm right, but like there's ways that are annoying to play, and I don't like those, and you shouldn't either. The game is definitely meant to be like a solo sort of adventure through space, but then you're meant to encounter other people. It's meant to be like real. Like if you woke up, crashed on a planet, and you didn't know anything, but like, hey, this is my ship. Okay, I gotta fix it. Okay, I don't remember anything. I gotta learn, and it goes from there. And it's the universe. And imagine like you would start out lonely and like, what is going on, and going through space alone, and then eventually you'd find your way to some people, and they might be good, they might be bad, you don't know, and that's real. Like that's how No Man's Sky is and should be, and that's the way I play it. And like like I said, if I'm doing something like a multiplayer mission like is intended in the Nexus, then I'm on the mission. Whatever we're doing, that's what I'm doing. And if you're not one of those people, then you're one of the people that I don't like in the game. Like if you want to do anything you want to do solo, you can do it, even the missions. But if you're on a mission with other people, like you should be playing with them. Like I've said before, I'm antisocial to a degree, so like I don't like to talk to people. Oftentimes I have a lot of noise in my background, and or I don't want to have to deal with muting myself, so like I don't talk to people. I don't have time to get into conversations a lot. I just have time to like play and do my thing, and like if I have an idea for a video, I'm trying to get footage and stuff while I'm also playing. So I typically don't like talk in games, and I like games that I don't have to talk. Like DayZ, you kind of need to have your microphone, and talking is part of it. So that's a different scenario, but like in this game, you don't have to talk, and I love it. And like you can go to the Nexus, you can get into submissions with somebody, and it should imply that like, okay, we're both together on this mission, it tells us what to do, let's go do it. We don't have to talk. Like you can tag things if you need to, you can use emotes if you absolutely need to like express something, or if it's an emergency. Like I've had times where something bugged out on me and I couldn't do the mission, and I didn't want the other person to think I was being a dick, so I go plug in my microphone, I get on, and I'm like, hey man, I just want you to know my mission is bugged out and I can't help. I'm trying to help, but I can't, and I don't want you to think I'm like being a dick. And otherwise I don't usually talk if I don't have to or don't want to. And No Man's Sky allows you to do that while also playing with other people. But like that's still, to me, that's the right way to, or I shouldn't say right or wrong, to me that's the cool way to play solo together. Like you could be antisocial and solo. I can be that mysterious space guy who just joined you, helped you kill a bunch of pirates, and then went on his way. Maybe I dropped you a couple like sweet items while on my way out, you know. Like, I do that a lot. Especially since I started playing again, my inventory is still always full. I'm like, why do I have all this shit? So I give stuff out all the time when I can. Like when I'm in the anomaly and I've got some good stuff I can dump off, or if I've got my freighter around it, I can like transfer shit to my suit. I'll dump off a lot of really good shit that I can. Or if somebody like types in to the thing like, hey, I need a specific thing, and I have it, I'll give it to them. I'm all about it. I give away companion eggs sometimes. Like, I'll just have my companions, my cool ones, lay eggs, and I'll give it to somebody and hope that they hatch it and be like, whoa, what the fuck is this? So, you know, there's cool ways to play, but like, all around, it's the best game ever. And if you like, shit, we're almost 30 minutes in. If you've not played this game and you're listening to me talk about it, like, you should just try it out because it's really fucking cool. But if you're already, like, if you're this far in, you probably play the game and you're just like, what is this guy talking about, or whatever. Agree with me, disagree with me. This video was about my love of No Man's Sky and why I love it, and I couldn't even get into all the reasons why I love it because it would be another hour long. I could make this video every day and say something different for an hour and, you know, never be done, because just like the infinite universe of No Man's Sky, my love for this game has so many pathways I could go down. So just keep playing it, keep enjoying it. Hopefully you're not one of those guys who's I talked about before or in my previous video, but like I've said before, I don't do like friend request things. I've been thinking about making a hub world where I could, like, you know, people can come and like make bases if they want to be cool, and like I'll totally play with you. You know, like I'm not like anti-game playing. I'm just like, you know, I'm kind of awkward and so not awkward, but I'm just antisocial. I avoid the hassles for other people of having to deal with me sometimes. But I have actually to go do what I always talk about doing right now, and go feed some breakfast to a little baby girl and start my real life day before I can hop into something else. So hopefully I'll see you guys out there in the event horizon on the Nexus. And if you're still here, you know I love you. And I'll see you soon, Space Cowboys. Love ya. Bye!